Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I'd like to give you a quick overview and some suggestions for the guild ranking event. And this time, like last time, we have again the strategy period for 3 days and then other 3 days for the real ranking. And well, at first I was conflicted. Now I think it's a great balance because everyone should have enough time to make their team and practice, and then the ranking is for other 3 days, so it isn't too overwhelming or time consuming. So it seems very balanced and I like it. But this time we have Vajradharas twins and we need physical water for them, but they are the same enemy with same attacks and we can't debuff their attack, only defenses, meaning that we can increase only our own defenses against them. But since it's physical water, we can use Cloud, Glenn, Seth and now Angeal as DPS, but ideal team for this ranking is Glenn, Angeal and Kate Sith with his ultimate weapon HP Shout for haste and exclusive Queen weapon from the FF9 crossover. And ideal team is quite crazy because it requires at least 3 weapons from limited or exclusive banners, but of course we use whatever best we have available. At least this time we have multiple physical water DPS characters and not just Angeal, but because those Vajradharas hit very hard, Angeal with Veil and Provoke is of course most ideal here. But while in previous rankings it was better to ignore the sigils, here personally I prefer breaking them because it only takes 9 AEB from each DPS and you avoid getting hit. But you also skip the boss animation, which would take away the time for the battle. And there is no other real benefit from ignoring the sigils other than avoiding hit, because you spend the same amount of time breaking the sigils as the boss animation is if you won't break them. As for the armory or additional equipment, this time we have featured Tifa and Matte weapons, so your armory level depends on your account progression and how far overboosted your weapons are. Same with gear, featured outfits are mostly from recent banners, so it depends on how many banners you have pulled on. My physical water is much better than other elements, so I thought I would do better this ranking, but I actually do worse than in the last one, where I only had Sephiroth and still could almost solo stage 3, but here I can solo stage 2 and only do around 45% damage on stage 3, 3% on stage 4 and 20% on stage 5. And I have 3 teams for this ranking, and this one is for stage 2, just fully focused on attack. The second one is for stage 3, and I struggle here because those Vajradharas hit surprisingly hard, so it's still the same team, I just make them a little bit more tanky. And then for stage 4 and 5 I have swapped Angeal for Aerith. And this is yet another battle where skipping Camera really hurts me a lot, because Camera is just godly for physical teams, so if you don't have Kate, Aerith with Baharot and Camera will be the best alternative. For stage 2 I have Seth, Angeal and Glenn, and my Angeal is terrible, having his launch weapons at 5-star, but that's the best I have, so the garbage will do. And the reason why I'm using Angeal are his 2 weapons. Stalwart Integrity to increase physical defense and physical attack, and then Greatsword to decrease physical defense to high potency, because Glenn can only do up to mid potency. So it's not the best, but I don't have anything better to increase physical attack with, so this has to do for me. Angeal has Gear Voucher outfit with any DPS, Limit Break or Summon, Stalwart Integrity and Greatsword for his buffs and debuffs. Then his sub-weapons are Stream Saber to boost Seth and Glenn's physical attack, and 2 HP weapons with buff debuff extension for his buffs. Glenn has Warrior Kingdom outfit with his double warrior weapons and Circle Sigil in the boost slots, and a weapon with buff debuff extension for his warrior buffs to last longer, and whatever else I had best to increase his DPS here. Seth has Warrior Kingdom outfit with Leviathan, Tempest for DPS, Genji and Triangle Sigil in boost slots, and in solo equipment slots he has Baja Sword with physical attack for all allies and 2 best DPS weapons I have available. I struggle on stage 3 because the bosses hit a lot harder and I want to be able to use Angeal's offensive buffs for as long as I can, but I also need Sephiroth and Glenn above 50% HP for their buffs to work, so it's still the same team but I have only changed a few details. I have given here Angel as much physical defense as I could, and he also has guild weapon with physical defense for allies, and then I have changed Glenn's weapon for personal style to give him a little bit more HP, and exactly the same thing with Sephiroth. While stage 1 and 2 the bosses are much more manageable and they don't hit as hard, on stage 3 they start hitting a lot harder, so this is why I struggle a little bit more, because unless you have Angeal's newest weapon with Provoke and Veil to protect him, the rat attacks are random, so you never know which one they will focus on, they keep hitting, and because I don't have a healer, I am trying to protect myself as much as I can to not lose as much HP early on in the battle, so I can keep giving those buffs and debuffs. But on those bonks I just switch to defense and try to protect myself and heal a little bit. But also here, when you see that suited, switch to another target, because now they switch, so the other one gets buff defenses, so it's not worth hitting them. But it's just still a DPS, right? So just try to do as much damage as you can while also trying to lose as little, unless you have Aerith as a healer, which I don't have, so I don't have their options, unfortunately. But here, wait a little bit, because now this is another animation, unfortunately, but uncheck the target and just wait here, because now we have the sigils and it doesn't take a lot, it's just 3 sigils because they are in boost slots, so they just need 9 AEB to break them all, so that's no issue at all. And with Angel you can keep buffing, doing whatever you want. But unfortunately Angel lost some HP here, so I have to deal with that. But also that's why I have Leviathan on Sephiroth to ensure, because at least he can buff his own damage with Genji, so he will hit a little bit harder than Glenn without those buffs. So that's why I have Leviathan on him, just in case. But here, just try to survive. If you are not sure, then you can hit those limit breaks earlier, but in my opinion it's just best to have all offensive limit breaks on summons and save them for that very end where you can't do anything anymore. For stage 4 and 5 I have now Aerith instead of Angeal, because I need a healer to survive and I won't be running any of those stages anyway unless there will be a need for it, so it's just the best I could come up with. But Aerith has Bahamut outfit with Baharot, and camera would be most ideal here, but unfortunately I don't have it, so Sun Umbrella is something. And in solo equipment slots, Aerith has guild weapon with physical defense for allies, heal and physical attack for allies, and Aerith has a bit higher physical defense and has low HP, and I want her to lose HP so she can keep healing and providing AEB for Seth and Glenn. And Glenn and Seth are the same as my stage 3 team. So Aerith this time, and honestly if I had a camera I would use Aerith even for stage 3, because then I could just go full DPS and don't worry about anything, because Aerith would buff and out heal. But here the bosses hit a lot harder, but until you reach max stance I recommend just survive and then out heal it. But also I keep switching a lot, because the AI is stupid, and even though I am target locked on the right Vajradhara, they would still target the other one on their own. So that's inconvenient, because if they attack the other one you keep losing AEB and DPS otherwise. But now, now it's suited, so switch to the other one with Sephiroth start hit first, so you debuff the enemy and then Glenn can hit a little bit harder. But it's the same enemy, they just are a lot more tanky and they hit a lot harder. But yeah, actually that's ultimate weapon is not bad. It's a free heal if you want it. And now the same thing, uncheck the target, make sure it's unchecked, so Glenn and Sephiroth, your 2 DPS, can break those respective sigils on their own. And we should be very fine here. And perfect. You didn't have to target here, I just do it just in case, and in case they get stupid. But here is the same thing, just heal. Aerith is great here because she keeps everyone alive, and you also get a little bit extra AEB here at the end of it. And that's the end. Those bosses on stage 5, they have some crazy amount of HP. But it depends which stage you'll be hitting. If it's stage 5, just try to do as much damage as you can. Oh, Glenn's about to die. But yeah, that should be around 20%, I think. I'll check, just in case. Oh, actually that's quite a little bit more, but yeah, that's the thing. I hope you find a setup that will work for you best. That's just what works best for me and my account. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.